Hi, friends. Welcome back to day 13 of A Lawyer's Insights from Federal Prison. So, the question I often get is, were you safe in prison? So, when I entered, I did not know what to expect. I was really actually very scared, as you can imagine. And in the first place that I was at, which was in Miami in the Federal Detention Center, the first night, it's not that I felt unsafe. I just, like I've said earlier, just felt really disoriented. But really within the first day, and was, my room was switched to another room where there was, my bunkie's name was Lucy in that holding center. And she kind of taught me the ropes. She had been there a bit, and shared some commissary items with me, and which was really, really generous of her. And she like showed me the way, made me feel at ease. She was a little older than me, and so she knew that I would be scared. She also was a professional on the outside. When I got to Coleman, it's not that I was scared, but there definitely were people that I learned to stay away from. For the most part, everyone was there minding their own business, making it through the day, doing their jobs. We all kind of woke up and did what we did. I definitely had a routine. It was really important to me to keep my routine. Um, over, I would say the first few weeks, I learned just by observation and then by talking to some people who to stay away from. There were definitely some individual women that were just prone to fighting. They probably just had a lot of anger, and I'm sure their situation was much harder than mine, and they were probably there for a lot longer. So I stayed away from those people. Since I tried not to tell people, but once people found out that I was an attorney prior to being in prison, a lot of people tried to ask me for help on their. Many people were trying to file appeals, and of course, my response always was, I'm not a criminal lawyer, because I'm not, I never was. I used to always say I'm a dirt lawyer because I was a real estate lawyer. Uh, I also learned, because you just kind of learn these things while you're there, I also learned uh, where to not go unless I wanted to have any sort of intimacy. So there were certain places at certain times that you could basically avail yourself of for some more intimate moments. That was not for me. And so I learned to stay away from those places. And at certain times, there were also certain things I learned that were basically signs that I would not have known of, that I was available for some intimacy. And so one of those signs was if you pulled, like, at night in the evenings, I would wear sweatpants that I bought from commissary. And if you pulled the pockets out, like so they were hanging out, or if you pulled the sweatpants up like towards off up to your knees, that also was apparently a sign. And I learned that one time when my bunkie came running. It was really hot and I had rolled up my sweatpants, and she came running and pulled it down and said, unless you want to have some intimate moments, nothing wrong with it, like if that's what you want. So I learned some interesting sort of like prison rules that you don't realize when you're there. But anyway, I get this question a lot. Most people do want to know, was I safe? Of course, my kids wanted to know, will I be safe? And so I was very safe. I made some really incredible friends that I call my sisters, and learned so much while I was there. But the guards, I would say, I never felt unsafe with the guards there. It's not to say there weren't power plays, because there was a lot of power plays depending on the guard. And in fact, I'll tell you that the women guards were actually much harder on us women than the male guards. Now, having said that, I did hear, and I would hear from others, that there were certain jobs where the guards, I think, took advantage of the women in various ways. And so that, that was not part of my experience, because as I've said earlier, I was a trash girl and I was in education, uh, which did not have male guards. But I think that there were some other jobs that women had where they were subjected to other challenges, I would say, with male guards. So just a little bit more about the experience that never I really get to talk to. I'm on stage, I'm talking about my message of, like, no matter what we're going through as humans, the universal truth is that we will all struggle. Obviously, my struggles have been uniquely different than all of yours, but we will all struggle. And then how do we rise through it? So I try to empower people to rise through any challenge, struggle, change, despair, anxiety, fears, uncertainty, with my rise through it process, with courage and conviction. So anyways, I never really get time to answer these questions or share. So hopefully it's interesting. Thanks a lot for following, for watching. Tomorrow is day 14, and I promised a 14-day series, so I will share what it was like on my last day and when I got to hear that I was coming home. And then we'll probably shift over to like every week with some other interesting moments and interesting things to share about through my journey and through the Rise Through It process. Thanks a lot.